Greetings, folks. I am Pete Pardo from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to pick number 14 of albums that are 20 years old in 2025. We're going back 20 years to 2005, picking out our 15 favorites. Of course, we're splitting the month. Half of the month is 2005. The other half is 2015, right? Top 15 for each of those years. Counting down. And again, as I've said, one of the cool things about doing the kind of the more recent years is I get to go back to our webzine, seatranquility.org, and see what I picked as my favorite albums the year that these albums came out, and how do I think about them today in 2025, and are those really my top 15 the same as they were back then? I will say pretty assuredly that neither will be the case. I found lots of stuff way lower on my list, or even in the honorable mentions, that I'm like, that's a top 10, that's a top 15, easy, including today. It's like I'm sitting there like, how is this not on my list? Sometimes, you just don't get to stuff till later on, or because, in the reviewing cycle, you're just reviewing things so quickly. So when at the end of the year, you put together your list, and then, some albums kind of fall out of favor. You just stop listening to them, and others you wind up listening to more. And, 20 years ago is a long time ago, right? Things can change. So today for my pick, number 14, this is the debut studio album from this Norwegian band, released May 14th, 2005, recorded at Lionheart Studios and Top Room Studios and Noise Gate Studios, I'm assuming over in Norway. Produced by the band for Frontiers Records in Europe, Sensory Records here in the States. I'm talking about the first chapter from Circus Maximus. Yes, indeed. Ken Golden was very, I'm sure, happy to bring these guys their music to the States. And what a great band. Progressive metal, right? Very, very melodic progressive metal. Yeah, I guess they have a little power metal elements here and there, but for the most part, this is firmly in like the Dream Theater school of prog metal. Maybe not as what's the word I'm looking for? There's plenty of like soloing and really cool instrumental things on here, lots of them actually, but maybe not to the extent of, some of the stuff that Dream Theater was doing around the same time, but very much in that kind of flavor, in that zone, right? So here we've got the first lineup of the band, Michael Eriksson on vocals, Mats Haugen on guitars, Truls Haugen on drums and backing vocals, Glenn Kato Molen on bass guitar, and Espen Storo on keyboards. Like I said, produced by the band, mixed and mastered by Tommy Hansen over at Jailhouse Studios. So what do we have on there? Interestingly enough, I've got the Sensory release that Ken put out all those years ago. But the Frontiers release there's like a bonus track you get on this one that you don't get on the European version, on the Frontiers version, and likewise there is a track on that you don't get on this one, right? So I've actually went and listened to the one on the Frontiers release, and I wish they put it all on one, because you need all of them, right? It's actually a pretty heavy album. This band, they don't have a lot of albums, and sadly we haven't seen anything from them in many years. But they're very, very musical. Their songs are full of hooks. The lead singer, he's kind of like, to me, a cross between like latter era Geddy Lee and James LaBrie a little bit, but a little different, obviously, but there's those qualities there. There's tons of great riffs and blazing solos from the guitar player, plenty of keyboards, the rhythms are great, songs are heavy, but like I said, they're very memorable, very melodic. It starts off with Sin. The first two tracks on here are so like memorable. Like Sin is a great song, good riffing, man, that chorus is killer. Alive is another great song, just so memorable. These choruses just like stick in your head. That's one of the things that I think a lot of us who fell in love with this band early on loved about them so much, is like they supply all the demand that we have for that kind of complex and heavy musical arrangements, right? And plenty of, tasty solos, but all for the song. And then the hooks and the choruses are just like so good. You have Glory of the Empire, another really, really good track. Then there's the amazing, and Glory of the Empire is the first like big epic on the album. It's just over 10 minutes long. It's got mellow sections, it's got heavier sections, gets totally proggy, really, really good stuff. Then you got the ripping instrumental Biosphere, where you really can hear some amazing, amazing guitar soloing, just so, so good. Then you've got the first of kind of two like mellower tracks here, Silence from Angels Above. That's, more acoustic guitar and, really melodic vocals and just very, very well done, but it's more of the softy on the album. Then you got a couple crushers, right? You got, Why Am I Here is also has some mellower moments, but it's a good slow builder. It gets heavier in the end. The Prophecy is another great track, and then that leads up to the big, massive epic at the end of the album, which is the title track, the first chapter, which is 19 minutes long. All sorts of twists and turns. Here's where they really get to kind of show you how well they can play and lay down some really intricate arrangements. Excellent, excellent song. Like I mentioned, on Ken's version here, the Century version, you got Imperial Destruction is the last track. And that's a total crusher. Reminds me of early Evergrey a little bit, especially the way the riffs are kind of chugga riffs are laid out. Really, really cool. It's darker, a lot darker than the rest of the album. Really cool. And then on the Frontiers version for Europe, you've got Haunted Dreams. To me, Haunted Dreams almost sounds like it fits better with the album because it's very much in line with the rest of the stuff on this album. Whereas Imperial Destruction I love it, but it kind of almost doesn't fit with the tone of the rest of the album. Right, so and then apparently, and I didn't listen to this one, but apparently there's a demo track for Japan, which was called Marion. I have not heard that one. I've only listened to this one, and obviously the Haunted Dreams track for Europe for the Frontiers release. But it's a killer album, really killer album. For those watching, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people I don't know who Circus Maximus are. Well, I did a ranking show of this band here on the channel quite a number of years ago. Go check that out for a little bit more information on this band and their albums. But like I said, they don't have a big catalog. The catalog is really, really good. Really, really good. So I would urge everybody to go check it out. And that's my pick today. So more to come tomorrow, obviously, right? So if you know this album, I've already seen Rob Lasante and George LeMay talking about it in the comments of yesterday's video. But yeah, it's a good one, folks. So go check it out. The first chapter from Circus Maximus is my pick, number 14. Stay tuned for number 13 happening tomorrow. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube all together. Woo! All the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as a post. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Also down below, we got the links to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations, our merch page, our Cameo page, and the Sea of Tranquility membership options all down below. Thanks in advance for all of you who do support the channel in that fashion. We greatly appreciate it. And we'll see you soon here with more stuff, right? What do we got coming up on the channel? It's obviously Wednesday. We got more of these happening Friday morning. We've got the return of Live Album Love. Rick Lamonte and I will be discussing bands or artists whose definitive album is a live album. So that's coming up Friday. We've also got the Professor's Picks on Friday. We've also got 4 Fusion Friday on Friday. We've got the UK Connection on Saturday, and ranking the albums of Phil Collins, his solo catalog, coming up on Sunday. So lots happening. Next week is a busy week too. We got Hudson Valley Squares on Monday, In the Prague Seat on Tuesday. We've got the Review Crew happening next week. We've got Friday Morning the Funhouse with Martin next week. We've got ranking the albums next week of Zebra with Lynn Versace and myself. And so lots going on. Should have the Sabbath Stones hopefully tonight or tomorrow. That's coming up here on the channel as well. So a lot of stuff. Stay tuned for all of it. I am Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.